I welcome you all to this talk on the ELITE test in COVID-19. And as Dr. Nilesh rightly said, we have had a lot of learning ourselves while trying and testing this new marker, especially interleukin 6, which probably we used to test once or twice in a month. Now we are testing about 100 a day. So coming to interleukin 6, IL-6 as it is known popularly, now it is on the tip of the tongue of even layman, and probably every other family knows about IL-6 because they've got it done for some or the other of their relatives or their friends. Three most important questions which I encountered when we started this IL-6 testing. Why my patients' IL-6 levels don't match the clinical assessment? Why two different results of the same analyte in a short time without any change in the treatment? Why IL-6 levels are not decreasing after tocilizumab treatment? We'll look at all this in the duration of this talk. As we all know, IL-6 is a pleiotropic cytokine which is produced in response to inflammation or infection. And it is generally produced by the vascular endothelial cells, the macrophages, dendritic cells, T and B lymphocytes, among the other cell types. It was already known to us as playing an important role in the pathogenesis of rheumatoid arthritis, Castleman disease, inflammatory bowel disease, etc., for which it was ordered many times. It has important roles in both innate and the adaptive immunity. As part of the innate immunity system, IL-6 itself acts on the hepatocytes and it induces the expression of the acute phase reactants, as we know them as CRP, fibrinogen, serum amyloid antigen, etc. So all these acute phase reactants are stimulated and their production is increased due to IL-6. And within the adaptive immune system, it has a key role in activating the antibody producing B cells to proliferate and causes an enhanced antibody response. As we can see in this diagram, in the alveolar lumen, once the pneumocytes are infected with the SARS virus, their replication happens and this causes the influx of lymphocytes, monocytes, neutrophils, macrophages in the alveolar lumen, and they cause the release of cytokines like IL-6, IL-1, TNF alpha, and they mediate the immune response. IL-6 in particular dictates the transition from acute to chronic inflammation by changing the nature of the neutrophilic infiltrate, and it stimulates the T and B cells favoring the chronic inflammatory response. In many cases of rheumatoid arthritis or in our case COVID-19, sometimes the inflammatory response is very enhanced, and at that time overproduction of this interleukin 6 instead of helping us sometimes causes the interleukin storm syndrome and causes extensive damage to the tissue, in our case the lung. Tocilizumab has been an interleukin 6 receptor blocking antibody which blocks the receptor in soluble as well as membrane bound form, and they have been used to treat rheumatoid arthritis when the disease is aggravated or Castleman disease, etc. So this was tried by doctors treating the COVID patient in whom they felt that the cytokine storm is happening. Now we come to a case which I encountered within 3 or 4 days of starting the interleukin 6 testing in my lab. I received a phone call from a colleague from nearby city saying that another fellow physician who had been exposed to a COVID-19 doctor was clinically normal, but he got himself tested and his SpO2 was normal. He was working in the OPD, CBC-ASR was normal, CRP was normal, everything was normal, HRCT was also normal. But somehow his IL-6, which was not done in that city and sent to our city in some other lab, came very high, as high as 5,500. And they were all, in spite of the fact that clinically they all believed that this is a wrong result and does not match with the clinical pattern, they wanted some reassurance. So I told them to collect this first thing in the morning, early morning, separate the serum and send it to my lab. And we tested it on 2 different systems 4 times, diluted and direct. And all the time I got no value more than 3. So what was it that caused this high result? First, we thought that maybe there was some sample mix-up in the other lab which reported as 5500. Uh, anyway, we told them that our sample and our results, because on all controls they were okay, and we started investigating. Meanwhile, we also got some feedbacks from some local hospitals that this particular level of IL-6 which you reported as 50 looks very high, please recheck it. So we took out the sample from the previous day and we checked it, and instead of 50 it came 500. So thereby we started our exercises and our reading, and what we found was this, that there are a lot of pre-analytical variables which influence the level of IL-6 when it is tested in the blood. When it is tested immediately after collection, within half an hour suppose, the method of collection or the tube in which it is collected, whether EDTA tube or plain tube, does not make clinically significant difference in the values. But when it is collected in plain red top tubes, if it is collected allowed to clot and the serum is not separated immediately, but say for example from some hospital to your lab takes 2-3 hours to come, or from some outside town to your lab it comes 5-6 hours to come, the clotting process causes rapid release of interleukin 6 and the results comes falsely very high. And the degree of false increase is directly proportional to the amount of time the serum remains in contact with the clotted RBCs. And it varies from 3 to 4 times false increase to almost 100 times. And that was probably what happened in that case. And then we discovered many such cases. We started reading and we started comparing. And meanwhile, I found this research article published by a Chinese university in 2019, much before the COVID outbreak, where they were actually doing this testing for rheumatoid arthritis. And they had investigated the effect of blood sample handling on measurable interleukin 6 in plasma and serum. And they had reported that EDTA keeps the level more stable, and probably the reason is because no clotting happens. So clotting related activation of the interleukin 6 production after collection of blood does not happen. And we then compared samples collected in the morning, same time in plain tube and EDTA tube. And after 8 hours, we measured in both, and we found that the serum sample, if it was not separated from the RBCs, it would rise very high by night time, whereas the EDTA sample almost showed no variation. This was what the same study discovered, that several pre-analytical variables like specimen type, different temperatures, storage length of sample, even the centrifugation timing will affect the stability of IL-6. In general, plasma values were identified to be stable in different temperatures for 24 hours. So plasma, EDTA plasma is the preferred tube in which IL-6 should be collected. Similarly, if serum is separated immediately and stored for at 4 degrees, again it is stable. But if the serum is stored at room temperature, even after separation, the values go very high. Coagulation now has been confirmed to be one of the factors that can induce cytokine release, and this is why now we advise and we don't accept samples which are there in plain tube, or accept only if they have immediately come to us and separated. So the learning from this was that IL-6 should be collected in EDTA plasma, and after that there were several experiences which I had where people who IL-6 were reported 150, 1500, 2000, they all came to 4, 5, 6, 7. And probably a lot of panic for the tocilizumab injection, which was not available, was probably because of our lack of knowledge of the stability and the pre-analytical variables in the IL-6 testing. Coming to another thing, another case where a COVID-19 patient already moderately severe in its clinical severity was admitted in the hospital, started worsening clinically, and all parameters worsened. The IL-6 came at about 1600. They started tocilizumab. Next day, patient improved clinically, but IL-6 was again repeated for some reason, and it came even higher. And then that doctor called us that why it is high, clinically patient has improved, your report is not right. This brings to us an understanding. We have noted that many clinicians get IL-6 levels measured on the next day of toci therapy. Actually, post tocilizumab therapy, which is a IL-6 receptor blocker, It blocks both the soluble and bound receptors. The inflammatory response goes down. The patient clinically will improve, but the effectiveness cannot be assessed by IL-6 measurement, as actually after the blockage of these receptors, the IL-6 level rises. It accumulates in the blood. It stops acting. The bad effects of IL-6 stop, but the levels in serum remain high. And so post-therapy, IL-6 is a very bad marker to assess the response to therapy. In fact, CRP is a much better marker. As we learned earlier, IL-6 causes the formation of CRP. So once you block the IL-6 receptor, CRP levels will come down. So if you want to assess, as this diagram shows, this is for a rheumatoid arthritis patient. So normally, some IL-6 is produced by the body every day and it is catabolized, remains normal, no bad effect comes. If the patient has rheumatoid arthritis or COVID, the immune activation causes excess production of IL-6. And that IL-6 causes inflammatory response, CRP formation, etc., immune activation. Now, when you give something like tocilizumab in the third diagram which we are seeing, it will block the receptors. Once the receptor block, the IL-6 starts accumulating in the blood. But its activity, the metabolic activity stops. So the inflammation actually goes down, which is reflected in normal CRP. And slowly the IL-6 levels will also stop. But it will take time. This was another study of severe COVID-19 patients treated with tocilizumab. And in the last line, if you can see the IL-6 levels, before tocilizumab, a mean level of 153 was there. And first day after tocilizumab, it came to 129. Day 3, it was 300. Day 5, it was 274. So till 5 days tocilizumab, after tocilizumab, the IL-6 levels don't go down. They actually increase. But if you look at the CRP was 75 before tocilizumab. And post tocilizumab, day 1, it came down to 38. Then it came down to 10, and then it came down to 2.7. So for assessment of tocilizumab therapy and whether it has acted or not, IL-6 is the worst marker you can choose. You have to choose CRP and look at your CRP. If it is going down, patient is clinically improved, you are done. You don't need to do IL-6 again. Thus, the take-home message from our learning is basically, if tested immediately after collection, serum and plasma values are comparable. EDTA plasma is the preferred substance from which the IL-6 is analyzed, and it is stable for 24 hours at least. Unseparated serum, if kept at room temperature, would cause rapid lyse. So even you should not use unseparated serum. And even when separated, on standing at room temperature, IL-6 rises very high. So please avoid serum if possible. And if you are forced to test, ensure that it is separated immediately after collection, stored at refrigerated temperature, and tested as fast as possible. Post tocilizumab therapy, CRP, ESR, and increased lymphocyte percentage are better indicators of response to therapy, because your IL-6 is not going to come low anytime soon. Thank you.